Hello everyone and welcome to week 12 of me making my own animated film. It is crazy to me that it's already February. Like the months are just running away from me. I've been on this film journey and animation journey for a while now, and I've been studying all my steps. And there's just something that I've realized, and maybe I'm daft, I do not know. Maybe this is something they talk about in animation school or whatnot, but for me, that haven't gone to animation school, there's a surprising lack of videos on rough animation, actually. And just information on rough animation in general. I find it very hard to find. I've been going through my books, I've been going through YouTube, I've been Googling, there's some info here and there, but it's very hard to find proper, good documentation on what should I actually think about while I'm doing my rough animations. And while, this might not be a big thing, what you're doing is actually animating, so, following the 12 principles and all these other things that are important, like spacing, timing. Do I animate on ones or twos? Do I go straight ahead? Do I do pose to pose? All of these things are things we think about while we animate. But I'm really wondering, isn't there any valuable information about strictly about rough animation? How rough is rough? What should I think about in this step? Except for all these fundamentals. Because I am finding a lot of information on cleanup for some reason, but not on rough. So I don't know, it's been blowing my mind a little bit, and I think maybe I shouldn't be thinking about this. Maybe it's not something people are thinking about, or maybe it's just obvious that you just animate. Just follow the stuff and animate. And that makes sense too. But, do you guys get what I'm thinking here? So my thoughts with this video is to go through a lot of the thoughts that I have had about rough animation, my process, maybe questions that I've had, and try to relay them to you guys, and hopefully if anyone have had these thoughts as well, maybe it could help. So I guess one of my first questions I had was, how rough is rough? How rough do I make these animations? How much time do I put down on these? And the answer or the conclusion that I've come to is it really depends. If you look at rough animations from different animators, they look very different. Some of them almost look really clean, and then you got some of them looking really rough. So I guess it's gonna first of all depend on the animator. And for myself, I felt like it really depended on the shot that I was working on. If it was a simpler shot, I found myself making more clean roughs, so to say. And with a more complicated shot that had a lot of frames, I wanted to speed through that, so it became way more rough. So as long as you can tell what's going on in your frames and they're flowing nicely for you, I don't think there's going to be a problem when it comes to cleanup later. It might be different if you're working with other people though, obviously. So I think that's a good thing to keep in mind. Then there's this sort of the elephant in the room to self-taught animators that haven't gone to school, and that is, what the hell are those? So you'll see these everywhere when you're looking at other people's roughs. And naturally, you'll be thinking, should I be doing this? What is this? So these little buggers are called animation charts, and they are a tool that animators use to figure out their timings and stuff. Apparently it's very helpful for yourself figuring stuff out, and also if you're working with other people, if you're giving that shot over to another person, then they can see what your thoughts was here and they can help you execute on it. Obviously these words are coming out of my mouth, and I do not know everything about this yet. I haven't actually used this technique on my own yet, but I really want to practice this. It seems like a very useful tool. And there is some documentation on this on the YouTubes, and also if you Google it. For me, this whole chart thing has always, like, it's always been there, but I've never understood what it was, and it looks kind of cool, you know? It looks professional. In my experience, I just feel like people don't mention them that much in videos or such unless you search for it. Another thing one can think about also is, like, should I use different colors? Why is there different colors in some people's roughs? And this whole thing with different colors, from what I've seen, mostly it has to do with secondary action, like I mentioned in an earlier video. So if you have a walk cycle, you draw that out in, you know, gray, black, whatever. And then you have a flowy hairstyle moving along, and maybe it's just easier for you to draw that in red or green or whatever you want. You could still do it in black as well. I haven't used different colors yet. I might try it out to see if it feels better. But it's just to make it easier for yourself to distinguish each part that you're animating. So whether or not you want to use that, that's probably up to yourself. Unless you're working with a team and there's, like, guidelines on how to use it. And another thing that I mentioned in an earlier video is that colors are also used to show where shadows or highlights go on your characters when you're animating. But yeah, keep in mind that I am still a beginner myself, so maybe some of the information I've said today might be wrong or just incomplete. Make sure to do your own research and, you know, pinch of salt and all that. We're all trying to learn here. Do correct me if I'm wrong, and if you have anything to add, please do so in the comments. I'd love to know more about anything related to this. But thank you so much for watching, you guys. If you want to support what I do, you can do that on my Ko-Fi page. If you want more updates, follow me on my socials. I update there more regularly than I do here. And yeah, thanks again. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.